The sun was barely rising over the quiet little town of Willow Creek when 10-year-old Liam sat at the wooden bench outside his house, fiddling nervously with a small pebble in his hand. He had a habit, one that his friends often laughed at, of collecting small stones wherever he went. Some were smooth, some rough, some shiny, and some ordinary, but to Liam, each one told a story. His mother used to smile warmly and say, "Liam, habits make us who we are. Just make sure your habits are the kind that build you up, not tear you down." Liam's life was simple. He went to school, helped his widowed mother with chores, and spent time walking by the river where he collected his stones. But beneath his quiet routines lay something deeper, the unshakable belief that small, repeated actions could create something extraordinary. He didn't know how, and he didn't know when, but he believed it. One chilly autumn morning, Liam noticed his classmate, Sarah, struggling with her school bag. She lived a few houses away, and every day she walked the long road to school alone. Her father had been injured in an accident, and her mother worked double shifts. Without thinking, Liam ran over and said, "Here, let me help you." From that day forward, Liam carried Sarah's bag every morning. At first, it felt like just a small act, but over time it became his habit. Rain or shine, he was there. Sarah smiled more often now, and Liam noticed the change, not just in her, but in himself. Weeks turned into months. Liam's little habits began stacking up in ways he never expected. When his teacher noticed that he always picked up trash in the schoolyard, she made him the class caretaker. Soon, other students followed his example. When he visited the bakery with his mother, he always greeted the baker cheerfully. One day, the baker confided that Liam's simple, "Good morning," was sometimes the only kind word he heard all day. It seemed ordinary to Liam, just habits, nothing more. But those habits were shaping the world around him. Then came the day that would test everything. It was late winter when a fierce storm hit Willow Creek. Trees were torn from their roots, power lines fell, and the river that Liam loved so much began to overflow. The townspeople rushed to save what they could. Liam and his mother lit candles in their small home, but when they heard cries outside, they didn't hesitate. Sarah's family lived close to the river, and the water had already reached their doorstep. Sarah's father was too weak to move quickly, and her mother was trapped trying to save their belongings. Without waiting for instructions, Liam ran into the freezing water, his small body shivering against the current. He remembered all the times he had walked this path, all the little habits that had strengthened his courage without him realizing it. Step by step, he reached Sarah's father and helped him to safety. Then he went back for Sarah's mother, urging her to leave everything behind. Finally, he found Sarah clutching her little brother, both crying in fear. "Hold my hand," Liam said firmly, "I won't let go." It was terrifying, but something remarkable happened. The townspeople saw Liam, and one by one, they followed his lead. Men and women formed chains in the water, guiding neighbors to safety. People who had barely spoken to one another before were now bound together, each hand a lifeline. By the time the storm subsided, no one in Willow Creek had been lost. The next morning, the town was quiet, broken branches scattered everywhere, houses damaged, but hearts alive with gratitude. Liam sat on his bench again, his pockets filled with stones, when Sarah's mother came to him with tears in her eyes. "You didn't just save us," she whispered, "you taught us the power of small habits, kindness, courage, selflessness. You made it our habit to care." Liam didn't know what to say. He had never thought of himself as a hero. To him, it was just one habit at a time, carrying a bag, picking up trash, greeting people kindly, choosing to help instead of walking away. But now he realized, habits shape character, and character changes the world. From that day on, Willow Creek was never the same. Children began helping elders cross the street, neighbors shared meals without being asked, and the community grew stronger. And at the heart of it all was Liam, the boy with a pocket full of stones, who had shown them that true power lies not in grand gestures but in the habits we nurture every single day. Years later, when Liam grew up, he stood before a group of children in the very school where his journey had begun. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small stone, and held it high. "Every habit is like this stone," he said softly. "It might look small, but when you carry it every day, it shapes who you are. And who you are shapes the world." The children's eyes sparkled with wonder, just as Liam's once had. And in that moment, he knew the power of habit would live on, not just in Willow Creek, but in every heart willing to choose kindness again and again. Sparkle's moral of the story. Good habits, no matter how small, create ripples of kindness that can transform lives. Build habits of compassion, courage, and generosity, because they shape not just you, but the world around you.